Hey guys, it's Joe, and in this video I'll be showing you how to get a good metal guitar DI tone. So if you play metal guitar and you use Logic, I'm sure you've noticed that the amp sims don't really do that good of a job when it comes to metal guitar, so I'm going to show you how to get there by just using stock plugins in Logic. So I'll be showing you how to get this on a track I've just started working on. This is the guitar that's been recorded. This is what it sounds like with no effects or anything, it's just straight into the DI. So tonally it's a bit flat. The line itself's really cool, but tonally it's just not really there. So what we're going to do is, first things first, whenever you're using a metal or distorted guitar line, recording in or playing otherwise, it's good to put a noise gate on it first of all. This is going to help get rid of any hiss or that fuzz that you get from really driving the gain, which is exactly what we're going to be doing here. So these settings all depend on what you'll actually be doing. I tend to put the threshold quite high, but you don't want to make it too high, otherwise any sustained notes are then going to be lost. Tend to have the attack very quick as well as the hold, but I put the release a little bit longer than that just so it sounds a bit more natural fading out. So next we are going to load up our amp sim, so we're just going to amps and pedals, amp designer, and load this up. So now we're just going to go over and load up our amp sim, so we're going to amps and pedals, amp designer, and there is actually a preset in here which is quite good for distorted guitar, but we'll take it from good to great. So we're going up here, going to distorted, and it's called Razor Rock. So straight away it now sounds like this. So obviously an improvement for a distorted metal guitar. So what I tend to do for the EQ on here, I tend to just drop the mids out a little bit. I don't completely scoop them as a lot of people tend to do. Give the treble a bit of drive as well as the bass maybe a little bit, and then just whack the gain right up. Obviously this all depends, so we'll just hit play and tweak them around now. Cool. Another thing I like to do is mess around with the microphone, the placement of it. So where it is now is fine, but we'll just have a listen to the differences it makes when we move it around. So further away like that, it sounds really brittle, so that's a bit too much for me. All the way to the right sounds really boxy. So I quite like it just sitting a little bit back from the amp. Next thing we're going to do is just put on a bit of EQ. So as always, first things first, we're just going to get rid of some of the low end. Yeah, around 60 to 70 is fine. So we just do that to leave more room for the bass and kick later on. I also like to just put a little high shelf on there as well to make it sound nice and crisp. Helps bring it out a little bit more. And I also just kind of take out some of the lower mids as well, just a little bit, so it sounds a little bit less boxy. Cool. Anything from there is really up to you. I also tend just to put in a little cut between 2 and 5k, just a little one, because it then leaves room for vocals to come through. But in terms of tone, I think this is alright. Any other boosts or cuts you want to make is your preference really. Okay, so next we're just going to want to put in some compression. So we'll go down into Dynamics and then open up our compressor. We'll go into Studio VCA. It gives a really nice tone for this. Just turn auto gain off, don't want to use that. And we'll just start playing with the parameters here. So the threshold will obviously depend on the line coming in, the signal. Just squishing it a little bit. And then I tend to put about a 4:1 ratio on here for really distorted guitars. It makes them sound really squashed and punchy. Just a little bit of makeup gain. Now the key part of doing this for this compressor is to put on the soft distortion. So it adds some really nice harmonic frequencies and it makes it sound really crisp. I think hard and clip kind of take away more than they give for this, but I'll show you what I mean. So it just gives it a really nice brightness. So this essentially is the bread and butter of getting a really nice metal guitar tone. So from there we'll put on some reverb, you can put on some delay or anything as well if you like, but all of those are completely up to you and whatever you use. You can also put on some more EQ and some more compression. I tend to put on at least one more compressor after these, but again that's completely up to you. You might like how it sounds now, it might not need one, and that's absolutely fine. So it's definitely worth experimenting with, try and putting on any more effects. If you want any other effects on there, you can always put on chorus and phaser to emulate pedal boards or anything like that. And we have actually got the pedal board itself under amps and pedals. I don't particularly rate anything in here, to be honest. I think it's all kind of second best, certainly to what all the plugins we have down here are. But if it works for you, then it works for you, and that's fine. So this is certainly what I do to get a good metal guitar tone. If you do anything differently or have something you can share, please do leave a comment. I'll be really interested to hear it. So I hope you found this video useful, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment or contact me via my website. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers.